Alright, YouTube, this is Joe, the 50-something Dasher, with another daily recap video. This is for my dash. Today is Friday, December 22nd. And I mentioned in yesterday's video that there was an outside chance that I may dash last night. That ended up not happening. The peak would actually started at 5:30, and once it got closer to 5, I really, at that point, we were in here just kind of like laying around relaxing, and I just wasn't up for getting outside and getting into the madness and everything. So we just stayed in here, and I saw that this morning there was going to be a $2 peak from 5:30 clear to 9:30. I mean, a 4-hour block. And I thought, well, I'll just take advantage of that peak, and hopefully do pretty good on, in the morning, and not mess with going out there tonight. So would DoorDash be nice to me on the last weekday before Christmas? Would the customers give me some catering orders or a high tip or something like that? Would I get some kind of like early Christmas present today out of all this? Not exactly. I got coal in my stocking today, unfortunately. So, it's, hey, like I said before, you win some, you lose some. I lost today, but with like real heavy downtime, and so I logged in at 5:30. And you see, I waited a little over a half hour. I got my first offer, 875, but going almost 12 miles into downtown, so that was a decline. And then, so how long was it until the next offer? So then I wait. You see here, I waited almost an hour before. So I logged in at 5:30, and I didn't take an order until 8 minutes before 7. So like an hour and a half. In an hour and a half's time, I make $6.50. Crazy. But hey, this is a great order, 6.50 for only a mile. And it was delivering to a very familiar customer. This particular works at a service department at an auto dealership, and this is the only customer that I deliver to where I can picture the customer's face, when I see the order come across and before I even get there. So no other customer. I did have a lady that worked at a CVS. I haven't delivered to her for months, but it was like a real short delivery. Tim Hortons, just going a block down to the CVS. And I'd make $5-6 going not even like a quarter of a mile and deliver to this lady. It's kind of like, once I got into the store and saw her approach me, then I would know it was her, but I could never picture her face when I first see the order. but this person I can. So I don't know. It's crazy. I'm pretty bad with names, faces, stuff like that. Um, but anyway, so I deliver that easy order. So that was at like 7 o'clock, and then I get next is, and then I wait another almost half hour, and I get a 5.50 for 10 miles. So, and today I started out at, I want to say, 74%. So I'm only declining things today that's like, I'll take some bad orders. I'm just not going to take the unrealistic orders like this right here, 50 cents a mile. So that was a decline. And I pretty much had given up on breakfast orders at this point. I mean, so it did, I'm 2 hours into this dash, and I've made $6. And that's the thing. I've had experience with this before. I've noticed before in my zone when DoorDash anticipates ahead. This is the Friday before Christmas. The system probably anticipates a heavy amount of orders and lets extra drivers come on and does the peak pays and everything, but the demand just wasn't there today, like the system thought it was going to be. So I mean, it would, you know. So like I said, at this point I pretty much given up on the whole 5:30 to 9:30. I'll just go home and wait for this peak to be over and dashers to log off. But it's I really think that it was just slow, because even let's just say there was 5,000 drivers in my market, and DoorDash let as many of them on as they wanted to. Well, I would think that I'm supposed to it's supposed to go by, like, not seniority, but priority, like your dashers on the catering program followed by top dasher. You're supposed to be scored. So it's just like, even if there was a flood of drivers, I should have been high in the rankings to get orders, uh, rather than Joe, Sarah, and Fred that are just out there for a couple hours once a month when they run a peak or whatever. But like I said, I just wasn't getting anything. So that, like I said, I gave up. Came towards home, and again, 20 plus minutes passes. And I think I was just about home when I got this. I got, 625, almost 8 miles. Not a very good order at all, but I went ahead and took it. And so only my second order of the day, and again, going to a very familiar drop off. This was going to the jail, so easy as can be. I know right where I'm going and the procedure for dropping off there, so no problems there. I get a little bit of a better break here with this $7 only, and you see, it's about 8.20, so the $2 peak is still in place until 9:30. So $7 for only 2 miles. So absolutely, I was just coming back from the jail, and right on, I was heading towards the Panera when this came through. So that worked out good. And then they end up stacking it with a 650 McDonald's for only an additional 4/10 of a mile. So heck yeah. So hopefully now the really good orders would start to come in, and I pick things up here. Um, and then so I delivered these. And then I got in my notes, after I delivered to the Panera customer. It was a place of business. It was like some kind of medical office or something like that. But then I sit again for like another 10 minutes waiting on an order. It was just like the waiting game. And at one point, maybe it was earlier in the dash, before these orders, or I did during some of this downtime, one of those half hour time periods. I was here, and I was just bored, and something that I've been meaning to do on my spreadsheet but I haven't done yet is go through there And because today was smelling like a day where I might break a record on downtime. And so I went through all of my dashes to see what my record was to this point for downtime. And believe it or not, and I should have wrote down the exact numbers for the in these notes, but I forgot just now. But anyway, it was over 5 hours. It was like I was logged in for 7.5, 8 hours, something like that, and was active like somewhere around 2.5 hours. Over 5 hours of downtime. And I didn't make goal. I think it was like, I don't know, 75, $80, something like that. And I forget what the mileage was, but so I thought today was going to be maybe record setting, but it ended up not being that much downtime. So I get the next offer at 8:59. This again another stacked order. This one isn't bad at all. $13. It is 4 stops, but only 5.5 miles. So I went ahead and took this. I get into IHOP. Pardon my cheesesteak, that's IHOP. But anyway, I get in there, and actually, both of these places were both slammed. I mean, the sit down, dine in restaurants around here probably. I mean, I didn't go to Bob Evans this morning. I didn't have any orders for there. I bet that was probably the same way, and Cracker Barrel was probably the same. I mean, these two were like slammed. And I was like, man, here we go. So I go into the IHOP. I forgot to set my timer when I got out of the car. So I get out of the car, I go in, I go to the bathroom. Well, first, somebody, a worker, stopped me and got the name of my order. So I gave it to him, went to the bathroom, got out. Then I realized my timer wasn't right, so I set it. And I'm sitting there waiting, and then let's see, it was probably like at the 2 minute mark on my timer. So I'd probably been there about, you might as well say, 3.5 minutes. The guy comes back out and he says they're packing up your order right now. I'm like, okay, thanks. So about a minute after that, a guy comes out with like 2 sacks and drinks or whatever, but gives it to another delivery driver that's to like my right sitting down. So I think the that previous guy, he just went up to the wrong driver. The other one was the one getting packed up, not mine. So I mean, who knows how much longer on mine. And at the um, at the 4 minute 39 second mark, I even took a screenshot of it. DoorDash prompted me to drop it, so it's probably about 6 minutes is all I had to wait, and then I got the prompt from DoorDash to drop it, and dropped it like a hot potato. I mean, as busy as that place was, and if I wouldn't have dropped it, I could have been in there another 15, 20 minutes. And I had this other stop to make at TJ's, so that drop. Um, and then, like I said, a crowd at TJ's too. I walk inside the front. I can barely get into the second set of doors because all the people standing at the register, nobody helping them, and the people was backed up. Like I said, I barely got through and stood like just inside the door. And then, but I only stood there about a minute or so. The order was already ready. They got one driver on their way. The lady cashed out one person, and then asked me about my order, and then I got my order and was out. So it wasn't. It could have been a lot worse. Um, Next was a decline. Again, can we stop with these orders going to like Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, Pennsylvania here? I mean, it's like, come on. I don't know. I you know, $13 for 21 miles. No, thank you. I mean, I don't know if this is going to be around forever. It'd be nice if DoorDash, like at some point, there, especially in these huge, like metropolitan. This is a capital city. There's 500 billion people that live in Columbus, Ohio. Just go out on the roads and drive around if you don't believe me. Crowded as can be, restaurants galore everywhere. I get on the DoorDash app. If I want to place an order for myself, there's like 500 different things to choose from. There's no need to have deliveries. Like, keep it, especially in these huge urban markets, keep it within like 10 miles. Why do we need, cuz there's donuts. I guarantee you, if you got to Reynoldsburg, there's donut shops out there. I guarantee it. There may not be a Jolly Pirate, but Jolly Pirate are not very good donuts. I've talked about it before. There's better donuts in Reynoldsburg, and probably like on the app that they could have ordered from. Is this really necessary to have drivers go 20 plus miles like this? You know, I don't know. And that's all I'll say about it. There's nothing really much I can do other than, decline orders like that. I've taken a couple of them and I've talked about them in videos, but for the most part, decline. Then I get a $6 Wendy's. The one these $6-7 orders I've get, they were most of them low mileage. You see, this one's less than 2 miles, so I rebounded. What was it? This was only 2 minutes after I declined the Jolly Pirate, so I just had to wait 2 minutes and boom, a good high paying. See on the screen, diamond order. Thank you very much. Took it. I decided to, now we're getting around 10 o'clock range, past 9:45. I decided to make my way home. And I'm like, I had pulled into my apartment complex, about to pull into my driveway when I get this offer. And, $4, 5 miles. And this looks bad, but if I would have stayed like where I was, then this would have been $4 for 2 miles. So I took it because of like I said, the lower acceptance rate going on right now. And I don't think, did I have on my notes where that one was going? No, the only thing I had in my notes for this is this order came with 3 drinks, and the Wendy's was out of drink carriers. And they asked if I wanted to try putting the drinks in a bag. I was, no, I'm not doing that. That sounds risky as hell. But I told him, no, I got drink carriers in my car. And see, I talked about this in my equipment video that I did. The ones I got in my car, I use them, and used one today. So, so after that order, I parked near I was near Kroger, so I parked there. I went inside, went to the bathroom. Whoops. This is not the next screenshot. This is. So then I get this. So there's kind of like as you see, like a signal issue at the moment. So I took this even though I have no idea where this is going because there's no map to look at. 1425. 7.5 miles. I took this. The only scary thing about this was the item count. So 27 items kind of scared me, because if this was 27 different items, we could be looking at over a half hour to shop this. So that was concerning. Um, but it ended up being only 12 different things to shop. So I got lucky as far as that goes. So here's the first part of this is all in the frozen section. You see like four of these breakfast bowls, four of these chicken meals. I mean, so most of it was multiples. And then so that's part of the order. The another no, some of the other items they got five pizzas. uh, Wonder if all this is for it's probably not for Christmas. It's probably for the games the day before. What all these pizzas and everything is for, and then all the pop. They got the Pepsi Zero and Mountain Dew. Um, and then I had it was one of the very first items that I was looking for in the frozen aisle. This lady stopped and I was having problems. Did I have the picture of it here? Yeah, it was this, what is it again? Zetarian or Zataranes, however you say it. That right there, I was kind of struggling to find in the aisle. So this lady stops and asks if I need help. And I was like, yeah. And we're both looking in the aisle for it, and she ends up finding it and everything. I thank her and everything. It wasn't a Meyer worker. It was believe it or not, it was an Instacart shopper. So she must have thought that maybe she could tell, obviously, that I was a delivery driver and was struggling to find an item. Maybe she thought I was a newer item. Sometimes people might see the gear and everything, and they might think that means that it's like a new driver. It could be like there's no way a veteran would be wearing stuff like that, or some people might think that. But anyway, she was like, "Yeah, I'm an Instacart shopper. I'm doing an order right now. I know how it's frustrating it gets trying to find an item, yada yada." And I felt kind of bad after she helped me, because knowing that if the situations were reversed, there's no way I would be helping anybody in the store on a shopping order while I'm dashing. And that's not to say because I don't want to help people or anything like that. The reason is that I'm in such a zone on these shopping. I get inside the store and okay, what aisle do I go to next? Okay, aisle one, boom, this item, okay, aisle three next, boom, go to aisle three. Like I'm shopping and I'm looking for my items, and I know people are around me, and to try to stay out of people's way and go around people and things like that, but I'm not paying any attention whatsoever to what anybody else is doing in there. I'm zeroed in on. So I have no idea how many, I have no idea who are the regular shoppers in there, who are the DoorDash or Instacart shoppers. It's all just people that I need to kind of get around in the store. That's just how I work. So, you know, for good or bad. And then so man, I can't wait till I get to the eye doctor. Taking on and off these glasses is such a pain. So here's the end, and I shot this in just 13 minutes. So all right, back again. That was a very important phone call that was not supposed to come until about 3:15, so it was about like 45 minutes early, but that's okay. And I mentioned hopefully next week. Now it's looking like it probably won't be not this coming week, but the week after that. So after New Year, um, fingers crossed, big blockbuster, and I'm talking in all like the biggest marquee letters, blockbuster announcement potentially coming. So we'll see. I'm not gonna don't want to say much more about it until I get some more information here. But picking up where I left off after that Meyer order, next I got this stacked Jersey Mike's. This isn't too great. Two orders, $12, 8 miles. Not a great order, but I took this, and the cool thing about this is from a brand new Jersey Mike's location that that's kind of like near Meyer, that's in that hotspot area. There's one other Jersey Mike's over by Walmart, and that one's kind of sometimes can be tricky to get to or whatever. But this is in a much better location. I hope that going forward, more Jersey Mike's orders come from this location and not the other one. Um, but I've known for it probably hasn't even been 2 months that I've known this was coming in, and I didn't even know it was open and ready to go yet until today. Um, we have there's another restaurant. It's like a Greek place in the same shopping center. No, not this. I'm sorry, not the same shopping center. About a half mile away. Same hotspot area though. This Greek place that they've had a coming soon sign sitting out this empty storefront for like the last 27 and a half years, and that place still isn't open. This Jersey Mike's, this boom, this popped up right away. They put a coming soon sign, and it doesn't even seem like it's been 2 months, and boom, the thing's open, ready to go. So I don't know what the deal is with the Greek place, but anyway, it's all beside the point. So I go into the Jersey Mike's. One of the orders was ready. I had to stand there about maybe like 4 minutes or so for the other order. And then here's the payout on this. So only $2 total from DoorDash. 650 and 350 tip, $12, so not bad. At 12 o'clock I'm only at 69 bucks, so just not a good day today. So that was 11:55. So almost right away, you see, I get this Aldi's order, Aldi's and PetSmart, 1925. The mileage is a little bit, especially that second customer going clear. They actually had a Galloway address, but you see how far north that house is. I can't believe that that's Galloway, but that's what the street address said. And I went ahead, I've talked about how I'm not a huge fan of the Aldi orders, but this is only 4 items, so how bad can it be? And so next screenshot is the list. The only one, well, the ice cream had to be substituted, and this was the hardest thing right here, this crab meat. I went to where all the like crab legs, fish sticks, scallops, like where most of the seafood was, and that's where I looked. I couldn't find this. At first, I marked it unavailable, but I walked over more towards like the other packaged meats or whatever, like your bacon, sausage, and all. It was more closer to all that kind of stuff, is where this was. So a curveball thrown to me there. Of course, the Pop Tarts and whipping cream, those were really easy. And I didn't even have to, I just carried these items. I didn't even have to, the quarter to get a shopping cart. I didn't have to mess with that. And then Uh, let's see. Then I go to PetSmart, which was just 2 bags of dog food, but and I didn't have to shop for it. This was already this was where the PetSmart employees shopped it. I didn't have to shop it, paid for it. Um, let's see here. And look at the basket here. There's two 40-pound bags of dog food taking up the whole grocery cart. And when I'm at the end of the dash, I'm tired, I'm hungry, and I've got a headache, and I have to manhandle 80 pounds into the trunk of my car. So and then from here, actually back up here, going from the Aldi's to the PetSmart. So we're talking one end of the strip to the other, wall to wall, slammed stop and go traffic. I mean, I don't know how long it actually took me to get down there to PetSmart, but it didn't seem to take too awfully long. But it was at this point where I'm like, okay, the Friday afternoon, people getting off early and doing all the last weekday Christmas shopping, and it's going to be a mad, mob scene. These are my last 2 orders. I'm just and coming out of the PetSmart, I had to take an alternate route. It wanted me to jump onto the interstate, but that was going to take like another 20 minutes probably if I was lucky. And so I turned the other direction, alternate route is probably took me like 2 miles longer, but I'm sure I saved time. And then I delivered delivered the first order, wasn't too far away, then delivered this, clear to Detroit, Michigan, practically. And then here's the payout on those 2 orders. Um, so 9.75, $5 tip and 4.50 tip. So appreciate that very much. Pick up almost $20 on one stack. Can't complain too much. It's just the mileage. And then it was like a 13-mile drive from that. As soon as I got to that second customer, I logged off and then had like a 13-mile drive back here home. And I thought I was going to be like way over on mileage, but I actually wasn't. So so I log off. There you see, started at 5:30. The total dash time was 7.5 hours. Uh, so, or yeah, 7.5 hours. I was active 4.5. So you might as well say 3 hours of downtime. And you saw most of that was at the beginning, and 12 deliveries completed. My mileage I think a lot of this had to do with those $6 1 mile orders that I had earlier in the dash, is why I didn't go over on mileage. But even including that 13-mile drive home, I still finished with 89 miles. So I was like right on point with the dollar per mile, miraculously. Brings me up to 2,471 lifetime deliveries. I increased my acceptance rate from 74 to 78%. So I'm in pretty decent shape. Got a little bit of wiggle room. No need to panic or anything going into next week. I should be able to dash all 4 days next week. Even though Wednesday we plan to go out of town to see my daughter, but I would imagine I'll probably be dashing for a couple hours in the morning. But we'll see. But anyway, I got to jump off of this and edit this video and everything. And and try to see if I can get it posted. So thanks for watching this video. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to my channel. As always, check out my other videos on here. And until the next video, thanks for watching.